Hello and welcome to Mandobug Crafts, episode 129 live. What's up, everybody? My name's Amanda, but you may know me on the internet as Mandobug. And this is my crafty podcast here where I share what I've been working on for the week and hopefully inspire you on your making journey by sharing mine. In today's episode, I've got a lot of crochet and crochet design to talk about. If you're catching this live stream live, definitely feel free to say hi in the live chat and ask me any questions you may have as they come up. If you're watching the replay, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So let's start out with something I've learned. This! So this sweater, you guys, I've had to keep it a secret for like a year. Oh, this is my least favorite part about submitting designs to magazines. They run like an entire year in advance, so you get to design these wonderful pieces that you have to keep a secret for like an entire year. So this is my first sweater design ever. And it's also my first time doing a circular yoke constructed sweater. So I've never knit one, I had never crocheted one, so I attempted to make my very first circular yoke sweater, also my first sweater design. I didn't do this just without help though. So I did want to mention that I definitely took advantage of my resources. Oh, and I see people saying good morning. Good morning, Habiba, or afternoon, or maybe even evening, depending on where you are. Look at my beautiful best friend. That's gorgeous, Amanda. Thank you. Good morning, Maud. I love your sweater. Thank you. I love it too. That's gorgeous. Thank you. And good morning, Mocha. So this sweater just came out, and I forgot to scratch off my address on the magazine here. It just came out in the most recent issue of Crochet magazine, which I get early because I'm a Crochet Guild of America member, and I paid a little extra for the print version of the magazine. So this is their spring 2022 issue, and I actually have two designs in here. I didn't make a second sample, like another sample of the other design, but I had to make myself my very first sweater. I had to be able to make myself a sample because when you design for magazines, they keep the samples. So I made up the pattern, sent it over to them, and they keep it. Also, so when I design this, they make you make the sample in a specific size for their model, and I'm just a little bit smaller than that. So like I'm always curious what the actual fit would be in my size for me. So the model here, and also because this is the spring issue, they had me do it in like springtime colors. So the model here is wearing the size medium. I'm wearing the size small. There's an even smaller size that's extra small. The finished bust on that one's only 32 inches, which would be like 0 ease for me. And that's not, that's too tight. So I went for the small, which is a finished 36-inch bust, which right now I think for me is about 2 to 3 inches of positive ease. So yeah, I really love this design. They were looking for a colorful yoked sweater, which is why I opted for the circular yoke design. So Isabella striped pullover. It uses, I don't have any leftovers with me. This is Berroco Ultra Worsted. It's a 100% superwash worsted weight wool. And I've got it going here in this really, it's like a medium gray that with blue undertones and then 3 shades of blue. There's a very light, a medium, and then dark blue. I kind of wish I would have used a lighter gray for the body. I'll kind of stand up so you can see the sweater on me. It's all half double crochet with some awesome spike stitches here. So you're not actually having to do any color work or carrying colors. You just drop down and do spike stitches to break up those colors. And then there is, I've pulled this up, there's slip stitch ribbing around the wrist, the neck, and the bottom. So those are all the details of the sweater. Designing it, the circular yoke. So when you make a top-down seamless circular yoke sweater, you start at the neckline. So I did the ribbing back and forth and joined it in the round. And then I started here. And what you're doing is you're increasing like a circle. So using circular shaping, you increase your piece out until you get where you want to separate your sleeves and your body, which is going to be at your armhole. So the most difficult part of designing a circular yoke sweater is nailing that armhole depth. And I went a little longer. Like if I was going to redesign this sweater, I think I maybe should have moved the armhole depth up just a tad, but it's not horrible. And considering that this is my first circular yoke sweater design, I'm not mad at it. It's still really cozy and comfortable and warm. And I love this simple design at the top. So yeah, once you get to your full circle, you split. You take some of your, my camera's backwards, it's throwing me off. You take some of your stitches and you leave them for your sleeve later. You create new stitches under your underarm and you divide the rest for your front and your back. On this design, I did make sure to make the cross back smaller than the front. So you get a tighter fit across your back. So there's not excessive fabric here across your back, which is really important for the larger sizes. This pattern is sized to 3X, which is a finished bust of 56.5 inches. So what I wanted to share though, when it came time to design the circular yoke sweater, I used this bad boy right here. Like I could not have done it without this book. Absolutely. I know not all of you knit, but the concepts transfer over completely. So this is the Vogue Knitting, the Ultimate Knitting book. There is a section in here, and I've got tabs. So I probably have it tabbed out where it shows you exactly how to design a sweater from the top down or the bottom up. And it has examples of the math for how you figure out how many increases, where they go, and how many stitches you need for each part. So it's all based off of your gauge swatch. I did a gauge swatch in half double crochet, which this sweater is mainly half double crochet. And then I use that information to figure out, well, if I want my cross back to be 15 inches, I need this many stitches back there. And I need this many stitches in the front. I'm going to need this many stitches for my arm. So I know what I'm increasing to. And one of the trickier things about this one is when you add stitches under your underarm, when you're looking at how many stitches to increase to total, you have to subtract what you're going to be adding to your underarm. And you're actually working into the underarm stitches twice. You do it once for the body, but then you do it again for the arm. So that tripped me up a little bit the first time around, but the book basically walks you through the process. And that's why I was able to do it. This was also one of the first times, because this was about a year ago, one of the first times that I had actually written the entire pattern before I made it. And it was a breeze. And I just was like, wow, this is working out perfectly. This is great. I need to be doing this more often. So that is something I've learned. I love this sweater so much. Let me catch up with you guys. She's saying good morning. Oh, good morning, Catherine. I missed you popping in. Good morning, Isabella. Afternoon for Habiba. Yeah, so good afternoon. I feel sweaters can look off quite easily. I don't like a lot of sweater designs, but yours is beautiful. Thank you. That's a really sweet compliment. Thank you. Which magazine? I think I did answer that, but just in case, I'll mention it again. This is Crochet with an exclamation point. Oops, make sure I cover my address. Crochet with an exclamation point at the end. I do have a link to their website down below. They have digital versions of the magazine as well. And there's some really cool patterns in here. And I didn't even show you my other design in here. It's a shawl called the Cedar Trail Shawl. I originally submitted it in, my favorite colors, which are like a rusty orange and a gray. And because this is the spring issue, they opted for spring colors. So here is the Cedar Trail Shawl. It is a mostly double crochet shawl with a unique shape to it. And it's got a lovely little cable that runs along the border. There it is. So yeah, this one was really fun. When I made the swatch for this, I kind of wanted to also take that cable and put it into a cardigan. But once you start putting more complicated shapes into a sweater shape, the writing gets even more difficult. And I just didn't feel like I was at that level as a pattern designer and writer yet, but maybe down the road. So yeah, this one is the Cedar Trail Shawl. And this one uses Haiku Simplicity, which is a DK weight superwash merino acrylic nylon blend. So yeah. And there are some other really cool patterns in here. Here is the back, so you can get an idea. This one's really cool. This Wister Waterfalls Sleeved Ruana. I thought that one was a really cool and interesting shape and would be fun to wear. And it has really nice texture. This one's really pretty too, this Floral Diamond Wrap. They put project pages or pattern pages up on Ravelry. So you can kind of look through all of these on there as well. And it all links back to their magazine page. So yeah, but there's my Isabella striped sweater. It's so cool. I'm having so much fun designing for the magazines. So yeah, let me catch back up. So it's such a pretty sweater. Thank you, Catherine. I think I might need to pull the trigger on the digital crochet magazine subscription. Well, I'm just telling you, I keep submitting designs and they keep getting accepted. So there is more and more fun stuff to come for sure, at least for me. And there are some very, very talented designers that design for that magazine as well. So I think it's worth it. And it's like the price of one pattern, but you get usually at least a dozen patterns. The only thing is when you get the print version, you know, it's a magazine, so you have to be really careful not to damage it. But if you get the PDF, well, you can print out your pages and keep it digitally forever safe. Good morning, Lori. I think I'm subscribed to that magazine on Kindle. Oh, well, then there you go. Check it out. And definitely, if you guys make this, let me know. I want to see it. All right. So that was something I've learned, my first finished object. I have a ton of finished objects to share this morning. I have been filming like crazy this week, which is, I don't even know how, because my family's been sick and I am just now really starting to get it, and it's like getting worse. And I just took Dayquil before I started recording today, and that's like the only reason I've been able to survive. It's just been nothing but thick mucus and headaches. But I've got 3 video tutorials in the works that will slowly be released over the next couple of weeks, like the next month. This one is coming out next Wednesday. So this is the Gulls and Slips Cowl. It was crocheted using Lion Brand Basic Stitch Premium with it's actually upside down here, with a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. It uses slip stitches and waistcoat stitches, so you really have to use a larger hook, and I go over that in the video tutorial. I also will have a written pattern on my blog, as well as a pay-for PDF on my website and in my Ravelry store. So I opted for a very tight-fitting cowl for this version, but I do have instructions for how to make it wider and how to make it taller or shorter. But for my sample, I wanted something that I could like put on and break that wind. It's a very thick and dense fabric that's created by this waistcoat stitch. So this is going to keep you warm for sure. Like throw this on and then zip up your coat. You could even pull it up over your nose if it's really, really cold. So I love this design. It's really fun. It's interesting. It's a little difficult. So I did definitely label this one as an intermediate pattern because it relies completely on the appropriate tension. You're running a second strand with your stitches on some rows, and that waistcoat stitch and the slip stitch in the back loop only, they really require strong tension control. Because you need to be working everything loosely. Even if you have a large hook, you still can't death grip that yarn. And I think that's a skill that's definitely beyond beginner level. So I've got it as an intermediate level pattern. So that will be coming out next Wednesday. And it's all done. And I've started the sample for the hat. I've just started the beginning ribbing, but there will be a matching hat pattern to come out with this cowl. I know Marquita is waiting for that one potentially. I know she's mentioned some interest in it. So that is the Gulls and Slips Cowl. Oh, Habiba's saying I have that issue. Yay! Awesome. well, then it's right in your pocket if you happen to have the yarn you need to make it. I didn't say, but my size, the small size, is, I want to say I used 5, maybe 6 worsted weight balls in the main color, and then literally scraps. It's only 2 rows of each color, literally scraps for the top. I think it would be really fun if you used a variegated here or a semi-solid. Good morning, Divergent Crafter. Thanks for joining live. It's just showing off the Gulls and Slips Cowl. It's all done. It will be coming out next Wednesday. And then the next one is I did go ahead and skip around in my own personal queue to make another Puffy Pinafore. So this is what you've seen in my thumbnail. This is Annie's Christmas Puffy Pinafore. So this is a pattern that I've been working on, and it is completely done. I just need to send it to testers. I've got 2 tests going on right now already, so I'm gonna wait, I think, until next week to officially launch the test. But if you really want to test this for me now, you can. I did actually send it out to someone already. They messaged me on Instagram when I put it in my stories, and they're like, "Where is the pattern?" And I said, "Well, I'm still working on it, but it is technically ready. If you want to make this Christmas version before Christmas, I'll send it to you if you test it for me." So I did end up sending it out already to one person who's testing it for me. So this pinafore, I used 3, maybe 4. Details are in the pattern for sure. 3, maybe 4 balls of Lion Brand Vanna's Choice. And this vintagey red is called Chrysanthemum. And so this pattern has a really nice ribbed-like texture across the front and some camel stitch, half double crochet in the 3rd loop texture around the waist. And then again at the bottom, and just some plain straps. And then I went nuts with the Lion Brand Go for Faux, just trimming everywhere. So I trimmed along the bottom, then I trimmed along the top, and it just didn't feel like enough. So then I literally went around every edge of the pinafore with the Go for Faux. And then I got these really cute buttons. These are glitter holly buttons. I got them from Shelley's Buttons and More. I think they still have some in stock, so I linked their shop down below. They're a little fussy to work with because there's just tiny slits in them. It's kind of hard to get your needle through those holes because, as you can tell, there's no buttonhole. But like right here and right there there's tiny slits. So I took black thread and I went from there to there. So it looks like a shadow, but it's actually black thread, sewing those into place. And I just think this is the cutest thing ever. It's so ripply and puffy. This is size 2. It's the smallest size of the pattern. And then the pattern's written up through size 12. So eventually I will need all the sizes tested. But I can't wait to get pictures of her in this. And I had to be a little extra and make the matching hat. So the hat is not going to be a pattern because there's so many Santa hats available online that I don't really feel like it would be worth my time to create another one when there's so many available. I use the same Lion Brand Vanna's Choice Chrysanthemum with the same Go for Faux. This is the Baked Alaska color. It's kind of like a off-white cream. And I didn't mention the body of the hat and the body of the pinafore. I believed I used a 6mm crochet hook, so it's a little on the looser side. But Vanna's Choice is a little thicker than worsted weight. It's more of like an Aran weight. But for the Go for Faux, it's really thick, so I used a 9mm crochet hook. So for this hat, I started following a pattern. There's a free pattern by Edie Ekman that is on the Yarnspirations website. So I kind of looked at that, but then quickly realized it wasn't going to work for the yarn I had. So I used it as a base and made massive modifications to it. I did single crochet back and forth for the circumference of Annie's head. And then with the Vanna's Choice, I picked up stitches around. And then I started decreasing, kind of following the shape of her pattern, but then I ended up modifying it to make it even longer because her pattern was written with more stitches. And so I needed less decreases. And so, yeah, I just did it that way. And I have to tell you, making a pom-pom out of the Go for Faux was not the most pleasant experience. It really sticks to itself. It's very fluffy, so it's hard to tie that knot. It's really hard to trim. Part of what makes a really good pom-pom is how well you trim it, and this stuff does not want to get cut. It just like tries to move out of the way. So it's a little bit wonky of a pom-pom, but I still think it's fun and cute, and I love the way that the weight of the pom-pom makes that tip just collapse like that. I think this is going to be the cutest set, and I can't wait to get pictures. I've already planned because my daughter's 1, and sometimes she's just not in a mood to be photographed. I've planned to bribe her with candy canes when the time comes, so I can get hopefully some cute, technically not her first Christmas. She was born in November, so she was just a couple weeks old last Christmas, but this will be more of like a Christmas. She still won't remember it, but to me it feels like her first Christmas because she'll be able to actually kind of try to open some presents. So let's see. Let me catch up. I might as well hold on to these because this is what I was just talking about. I used Redly for my crochet magazines, as it also gives you access to special editions also. Ooh, I'm gonna have to look into that. I don't know so much about special editions, but I do know for the crochet magazine, the Crochet exclamation point, I also submit designs to their special interest pieces. So it's still crochet, but it's not sent along with the Crochet Guild of America subscription. It's what I think you're referring to as the special edition. So that would be really cool. I know I've got a pattern coming out in their spring special edition issue. I just don't know when that one comes out. Beautiful. Thank you. Oh, she's so adorable. It's the puffiness for me. It's the ripples. It's so freaking cute. OMG, that skirt is so full. Yup, it's got, you are quadrupling the stitch count to really add those ripples in. This is just too precious. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Marquita. Thank you. And the buttons are everything. I agree, Maud. I think without them, it just was lacking. So I'm glad I picked them up. I almost put some down here. I just didn't want to go too overboard. And I also thought if I put them down here, she might be more likely to try to pick at them because she'll be able to see them. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I love candy canes. Yes, my oldest daughter is obsessed with peppermint tea, candy canes. I am not as big of a mint person, but I do know my kids really enjoy it. And like seasonally, I will enjoy some. I make the pom-poms look like a cotton ball. Super cute. Excuse me, guys. I did tell you, I'm working on getting over this cold. It does look like a giant cotton ball. It's the cutest outfit ever. Thank you. And Isabella, crinoline underskirt. Oh my gosh, that would be so cute. Just to really make it puff out. I could easily make those tulle tutus. Oh, that'd be so, too cute. Does your eldest crochet or knit? Not yet. She's tried a little bit. She knows the basic knit stitches, but her tension's not quite there to be able to do the first or last stitches of the row. But if I do a really long row and I knit a couple stitches in, she can knit across and I do the last few, turn, do the first few, and she can knit back. She also has one of those Singer knitting machines that she can do, but she needs help starting it and finishing it. So not quite, the interest is there, but she's only 6. She's about to turn 7. So, you know, it's about that beginning age. My kids love mint too. What is it with kids? And it, part of it's just the sugar, honestly. She's also a sugar fiend. All right. The other finished object I have is more outfits for Annie, my youngest. I made her a ice cream party cardi. So this is the cardigan that I designed using Lion Brand ice cream cotton blend. So you'll notice that all of my finished projects are using Lion Brand yarn. That's because that is the yarn that I received in my Lion Brand mystery box that I bought over the summer, and I challenged myself to design something with everything in the box. So that's why it's all Lion brand. These are my 3 designs: the Gulls and Slips Cowl, the Puffy Pinafore, and this Ice Cream Party Cardi. So I was able to complete my own challenge to myself. This ice cream cotton blend, I believe, is being discontinued because it's marked down to $2.99 on their website, which is so cheap. And I actually only used 3 balls for Annie's cardigan. So what is that? Like less than $10? Well, plus shipping. $10 plus shipping for this cardigan for Annie. Well, and plus buttons. So a little bit more. I mean, that's such a good deal. I ended up having to make her one as well because I didn't film tutorials when I made the original, which I made for my 6-year-old. So I wanted to include video tutorials for special parts of the sweater that may be a little bit tricky. And then I also just went ahead and decided I'm going to throw up the full tutorial too. So I filmed the entire thing. I'm going to have separate videos just for the special techniques as well. So the video will be free. The pattern will be free on my blog, and then there will be the pay for PDF with links to specific areas like how to assemble and seam it, how to create the buttonholes. So that has been most of what I've been filming this week. I also filmed the Puffy Pinafore completely as well. So the Gulls and Slips is ready to go next Wednesday. I still have to edit the Puffy Pinafore. I have to edit all of this, and this one's not going to come out until December 22nd. The Puffy Pinafore doesn't have a date yet. I think I put a tentative date on my personal calendar of mid-January. So this Ice Cream Party Cardi is a seamed deep V-neck modified drop shoulder cardigan. And so you'll see it's got this shoulder shaping here right above where the drop sleeves start. It helps the cardigan stay on the natural slope of your shoulder. And then, yeah, it's worked in pieces, seamed together, and afterwards you go back and you do applied slip stitch ribbing around the wrists, which is so nice and stretchy. It's around the bottom of your cardigan and around the button band. What I love, so the slip stitch ribbing can be a pain. It can be a pain and it can be slow, but it is the stretchiest ribbing. It's the only crochet ribbing that I really consider ribbing, with the exception of single crochet in the back loop. That can be stretchy too, just not as stretchy as the slip stitching. I love this around the wrists of the children's cardigan because if your sleeves are too long, it doesn't matter. Same thing on this Isabella striped sweater. With the slip stitch ribbing, even if your sleeves are too long, that ribbing keeps your sleeve in place, so it doesn't matter. You can just push it up. Mine ended up being longer than I expected because this is a superwash sweater and it grew when I blocked it. I should have known, excuse me. I should have known better, but it's fine. It's one of those things where, like, when you reach out your arm, I'd rather have extra fabric than it pulling up. That annoys me really bad. So back to the cardigan. This is a worsted weight number 4 yarn. It's a cotton acrylic blend. On the body, I used a 5mm crochet hook. On the ribbing, I used a 6.5mm crochet hook because with that slip stitch ribbing in the back loop only, you really have to work loosely with a large hook. I put buttonholes in the applied slip stitch ribbing. And yeah, I've got 6 buttons here. These buttons I got from the same place that I got the glitter holly buttons and that I got the ice cream buttons on Emily's size 6. These ones are out of stock, but I was able to pick up these ones, and this is actually a variety pack. So if you look up closely, they're not identical buttons, but they're within the same range of color. So I thought that was really fun. Yeah, I think that was everything I wanted to say about this cardigan. It's not blocked. So in the pattern, I recommend that you wet block your pieces before you seam them, because most acrylics nowadays, in my experience, react to blocking, and the cotton definitely does. So you can see there's not a lot of drape. It's kind of stiff. Whereas with the size 6 that was blocked, it's very drapey. There's no wrinkles. It's not stiff at all. That's because this one has been blocked and this one has not. I didn't block this one because I was trying to hurry up and film the tutorials as fast as possible. My testers have just over a week to finish theirs, and I told them they could hold off for the tutorials for the seaming and ribbing if they wanted to, and so I'm trying to get those tutorials to them as fast as possible, and I didn't want to wait a couple days for the pieces to finish drying, so I just went forward without blocking, but I will be blocking it now that it's done. The pieces are sewn together using the mattress stitch, which I go over in the video tutorial as well. And what that does is it creates this little bit of seam on the inside of your sweater. And I wrote that into the pattern too. I wrote a 1/4 inch seam allowance into the edge of all the pieces. So yeah, let's catch up. Let's see. She is doing great. Oh yeah, Emily learning to knit. I think so too. I'm just kind of letting it be self-paced for her. When she comes to me and asks me to practice, I let her. Mint chocolate chip was my favorite ice cream as a child. See, I'm in the boat that mint chocolate chip ice cream tastes like toothpaste. Is anybody else like that? I am just not a huge fan of mint chocolate chip ice cream, but my kids love it, especially my peppermint loving kid. You did great. Thank you, Lacey. See, I would like a cardi for me in my size. So this was my first time ever designing a drop shoulder or even modified drop shoulder cardigan. So I wanted to start small. Also, it was the challenge from the Lion Brand box. I was hoping that 3 balls would be enough for my 6-year-old. It wasn't. I ended up having to order more. So that's why it's a child size. But I realized after I designed it, that it's a very deep V-neck. I set it up so that the V-neck starts where your underarm starts. So on an adult cardigan, here's my underarm, it would V-neck down to here. Maybe I can do it. I just thought personally I might not like a cardigan that has a V-neck that goes down that deeply, but maybe I should reconsider that and just go ahead and create an adult version of this as well, because I mean, I want to try on the shoulder shaping. I have never made a drop shoulder cardigan with shoulder shaping in it before, and I love seeing how snug it fits on my kids. I want to try it on me. So that may be added to my list of sweaters to design, because I have the swing cardigan I'll share later. I have a less swing front version in mind with my Universe XL and stash, but I can add it to the list after that, or even throw it in the mix, because I like to do a bunch of patterns all at once. I'm not a monogamous maker in any shape or form. Oh, Amanda, I almost forgot to tell you, I went to the Mesa Skeins Live and I asked if she had seen your 550 shawl with her Hallie box, and she said no, but she wants to very excitedly. Oh, I think that's the problem with people on social media that have very active social medias. The notifications they get missed because there's so many. I'm starting to have that problem as well, because I've posted Instagram Reels, and when they start showing those to a lot of people, everybody liking the reels gets in the way of the comments. And so it's really easy to miss stuff. I did tag her in that post, but I bet her feed is just as busy as mine and she probably missed it. Maybe I should actually email it to her if she wants to see it. That pattern is in testing. I don't have it with me right now, but I've been working with my testers on how to make the coloring sheet better and how to help people modify it from 550 gram skeins to using advents and smaller mini sets. So that test is going well, and that pattern should be out in the middle of January when we're all done with it. Maybe a Mama and Me pattern set. I mean, why not? I already made my girls matching cardigans. I like poor Jack, my son is like left out. I haven't made his sweater yet. He picked out yarn. I've got Lion Brand mandala, and I think it's called the Gnome colorway. It's very rainbow. He wants a hooded zip up sweatshirt, which I think was a great opportunity for me to adventure into a hooded cardigan and add a tutorial about adding zippers into your cardigans. So his is on the list too. I don't have enough time to do all the ideas that I have, you guys. I literally have to be very careful about letting myself go off on these exciting tangents. I've just been keeping a list and trying to have some level of self-control. At least I'm getting these patterns out as I'm making them. You're filming as much as I am. I know, Mocha. Like, Mocha's been working on putting up a ton of videos for the Vlogmas season, and I'm over here like, oh, I can't commit to that. I know how much time it takes, but I'm ending up filming a bunch of stuff anyways. It's a lot. I maybe someday I'll make a vlog about what it's like to film tutorials and like really break down how much time it takes, because it's not only all of the time to make the pattern and film it while you're doing it, but especially my tutorials, I spend a lot of time editing them, trimming out the boring parts, adding the overlay text of the instructions, and sometimes I have to revoice over my tutorials because I'm working on them while I've got, kids playing in the background. The Gulls and Slips Cowl, I was watching Annie while I was filming it, and I actually decided to keep her in the background because it wasn't too bad. She was making cute noises. But sometimes kids playing are not so cute noises. I know you moms know. And I just don't want to have to make you guys suffer through that as well. So it's a lot of time. Oh, and not to mention too, one thing I hadn't realized is this is really the first time that I've started putting my patterns out for free on my website and having the PDF pay for and adding full video tutorials. Not only is a video tutorial really lengthy to create, but putting a pattern up on your blog creates a lot of time to format all of that as well. So it's just a lot of work for one pattern. Even an easy pattern like the Gulls and Slips Cowl, which is only like a 4-row repeat, that's very short to write. Still a lot of work. I have a 3-year-old that would fangirl over that. Oh, that's so cute. Never tried slip stitch ribbing, but now I really want to. There are some great tutorials out there on the internet. I think I followed Moogly blog. I really love her tutorials. It was tricky. It took me a bit of practicing to get used to it and get used to the tension that you need to be able to do it correctly. And even to this day, it's still slow and fiddly, but I love the results that you get. Like, what? Like with crochet, worth it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I only speak English, so I don't know what that says. Blocking makes your work so beautiful. I did a wet block recently on a superwash wool and was so shocked as how it softens afterwards. Absolutely, Marquita, absolutely. This wool softened after washing. My crispy Norwegian wool softened after washing. Most of the time, in my experience, wools will soften after washing. Sometimes cotton and acrylic blend soften. Linen definitely softens after washing. So, I mean, it's definitely a part that I recommend. You don't have to, but I really think it helps relax and soften that fabric over time. I didn't know if I should seam after or before blocking, so I'm glad you explained why. Yeah. Think of it like, well, I don't know if any of you guys have sewn anything, but they always recommend pre-washing your fabric before you sew because of the way that blocking affects the fabric. You want to be seaming what the fabric's going to be like after it's been washed or cared for. So that's why, too. Hey, Kim. Not a fan of chocolate chip mint. Me neither. Is that... Oh, I'm all behind in chat. Do we have spam? I love peppermint, but not mint chocolate chip ice cream because the chips are too hard. I like the flavor, though, and love mint toothpaste. I do, too. I really like this charcoal mint toothpaste from Hello. Say hi to me. My name is Paulo. Hi, Paulo. Let's go. Keep going. Oh my goodness. Are you guys helping me out in the chat here? Time out my help. Lacey, I know Lacey and Kim are both approved moderators. If you guys want to help me out. Oh boy. What the hell is that? That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Let's get back to the crocheting. Marquita, I've been reporting them, so hopefully it goes away. Thank you, Marquita. Too many YouTube spammers on lives nowadays. I don't really know how to block that other than like I have presets I set up, so if anyone says offensive words, it should mostly block them, but spamming, So I would hate to have to put a timer on the chat in general because it would limit you guys from being able to interact with me. I just bought a zipper today to sew into a knit cardigan. My first one. Oh, exciting. Well, I can't wait to see how that turns out. That's going to be really nice. I also have never done it, but I have put zippers into sewn fabric, so I know my thoughts going forward, depending on the fabric you're working with. I'm thinking when I do it, I may add a gross grain ribbon to the inside of the cardigan and then add this zipper just for further stability when the sewn stitches go through the fabric. But that might just be me being extra. Yay to the moderator. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad that we had that chat and I was able to get you guys set up as moderators before all this happened. Way to go, Mocha. Thank you. Oh, I need to send you like a Ko-Fi. Do you have a Ko-Fi set up? Send Mocha coffee for being such a great mod. I time out as it slows them down on channels. I mod on it. It is so annoying, but I've seen some turntables and be nice. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is I never want to just assume someone's being spammy and rude. You had a spam you had a spam raid. Oh, my favorite. I had this happen yesterday on a stream I mod for. They come in at 5 at a time. Jeez. What? Why? Like, what is the literal purpose of that? Are they just bored? My husband's telling me all about his video games. It's okay, Lacey. Mocha was on it. Thank you, Mocha. That's why it's also nice to have more than one mod. Setting it up to subscribers only helps too. Thank you. I am going to do that after this chat. Let me write that down. Subs only chat. Because really, all of you that show up here week to week to chat with me are subscribed. So only the streamer can block them, unfortunately, but we mods can hide their messages and put them in timeout, and that's usually enough to scare them away. Okay. Thanks for the zipper tip. I will also be washing the cardi before I sew the parts together. I think that's a great idea. All right, so maybe real quick, I can go up and block these people. Can I do that? Block user. Oh, it's so slow. An error occurred. Maybe you guys were already able to block them, or maybe they're gone. Okay, moving on to works in progress. I have still been working on the Everyday Swing cardigan. And it's a sport weight crochet cardigan. It's a modified raglan from the top down. And because it's sport weight, it is slow going. So this is Stardust Fiber Studio in the Pumpkin Queen colorway. It's a color that was designed specially for me, and they nailed it, and it's perfect, and I love it. And I love this design. It's been fitting amazingly. I'm going to put it on over this sweater, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But it's going really well. Hopefully I put a stitch marker in the live loop because I feel it pulling on itself. So this cardigan was designed to have extra wide fronts for people like me who prefer to have the front of their body covered. Sometimes very wide open cardigans fall to the side of your bust, leaving you completely exposed. That makes me uncomfortable. So I am designing this very wide front cardigan so that you can basically turtle in it. I've only crocheted like 20 something rows, and I still need to do another 20 something more before I get to the bottom ribbing. So this is where I'm at right now. It looks like I'm a lot farther than I am because what happens, the way this falls, these wide fronts are actually the full width of the front of your body. And when that happens, the fabric naturally drapes into this cascade down the front. So instead of coming across your body, it starts to fall down. And it looks longer in the front than it actually is. Let me back up a little bit. You guys get to see me chilling in my sweatpants. So it starts to hang down in the front, but if you look in the back, I'm really only this far. Does that make sense? You see how that works? Oops, I hit my microphone. So I'm really only here. I've got to crochet down to the bottom ribbing. Whoops. And I got two, sorry, I'm all blurry now too. I've got 2 balls of yarn attached to my project. which I should go ahead and share. I've actually been considering doing a tutorial on this just because I feel like it might be something people look for, and it's I've kind of been working on creating some like short tutorials, kind of like the how to minimize weaving in your ends with the 1 row stripe video I just put up. Sometimes those shorter tutorials are helpful. Sorry guys, I've got this cold. So I've got 2 balls of yarn attached. Because this is an indie dyed yarn, it's hard to get 100% matching skeins. So one thing that you can do to minimize that is by, I don't know why I'm out of, there we go. One thing you can do to minimize any sort of harsh lines between changing balls with hand-dyed yarn is you can work 2 rows with one and then the next 2 rows with another. So that's what I've been doing, and you really can't tell that I've used more than 1 ball. I believe I'm through 2 full balls and then this, and I have another half ball. I'm quickly realizing I'm not going to have enough yarn. So I think at this point I have to order about 2 more balls of yarn for my size, which, excuse me, this is going to be a size 2. Or not a size 2, a size small. And so I'm thinking the size small is going to need about 8 balls of sport weight yarn, and then it's only going to go up from there. So because there's so much fabric in the front, this is going to be a pattern that requires more yarn. I'm also going to have a very thick collar around the front. So it's going to require a lot of yarn, but I really think it's going to be worth it. And I really see this being my everyday cardigan. I am so excited for this pattern. I only have it written and sized for my size right now. I haven't gone through the process of fully grading it up. So it probably won't be ready for a while. And I'm kicking myself for not filming the beginning of this because I'm probably going to have to make another one to be able to create the video tutorial. But now that I know that I'm going to be doing that for all of my patterns, I can just go ahead and start filming them as I make them so that I don't have to do it all twice. But yeah, that is the Everyday Swing cardigan that's in progress. I think I mentioned everything there is to say about this project at this point. This stitch marker right here is the point that I stopped increasing in the front, and I'm just working plain. So I'm about halfway through my plain rows before starting the bottom border. And for this one, I've decided to go with the single crochet in the back loop only ribbing. It's not as stretchy as the slip stitch, but it's not as fiddly. And I think with this sport weight yarn, it's going to be ribbing at a width that I like, because the finer the yarn, that slip stitch ribbing starts getting really tiny and is even more annoying to make. So yeah, let's move that over here. Yay for timeout. Wow, that looks great. Thank you. That's so pretty. Thank you. I really love your attention to how garments fit. Yeah, that is something I've been super working on because I've made enough cardigans now and one pullover that they don't fit the way that I want them to. I struggle already when it comes to size inclusivity because I'm usually just a little smaller than the smallest size. And I thought that was my problem for the longest size. Then I ran into patterns that did come in my size and still didn't fit right. So I just have been like diving into, okay, why? Like, why aren't these fitting right? What is wrong? And I'm trying to do my best to create patterns that fit the way that I want them to. And then hopefully will fit you guys the way that I want them to. I second that. Thank you, Habiba. You're out of focus. Yeah, I saw that real quick. Thank you for mentioning that, and I'm glad I was able to fix it. I like that it's wide. My body is not a good candidate for regular cardigans. Yeah, you know, I like to hide in my cardigans and not expose when I wear them, or feel like they're falling off. I thought my reading glasses were making me out of focus. Right now, I have just started making wearables. My enabler. I am getting the yarn from Walmart. LOL. Hey. That's a great place to start because wearables are quite an investment. They take a lot of yarn and even more depending on what size you are. So starting out with a yarn that's affordable, even affordable yarns, it's still expensive to make a sweater. It's just like making a blanket. So yeah, I feel you. Starting out with something that's a little more affordable is a great thing to do. I notice a lot of garments are very boxy and just doesn't work for my body type. So one thing that I do know about boxy fitting garments is they do look good on certain body types, and there are people that really love that. They're also really easy to design. It's box. So as I'm learning to design more fitted garments, I'm finding that you really have to have good measurements to work from when you're sizing them. And then also, it's a lot more work to math and write a fitted garment. But I think it's one of those things that it's worth it. It's worth it because I would rather take the time to have to focus on, especially for top down seamless sweaters, you just have to focus until after the bust. After that, it's easy breezy. I would rather put a lot of detail and focus into that area for a good fit than make something that was like super easy to follow that I don't wear. I have won you over. You did. Lacey is the reason I like the single crochet ribbing. That is 1000% you. All right. Sorry for the coughing again. Moving on to check it out. I've got a couple things to share today for check it out. This one I didn't even plan on. I literally added it in this morning because it just came in the mail. I have some mail to open. So I ordered the Gamer Crafting Level Up box. This is a Level Up Frozen Woods box from Gamer Crafting. They're in the UK, so the pricing, the shipping is a little spendy, but I find for me that is very much worth it. I got their Level Up Trick or Treat box, and I absolutely loved it. It's the yarn that I used to make the snowflake cowl, and it came with a really awesome project bag. So Angie dyes the yarn, Sarah does the art for, or at least for the last box, she did the art for the stickers and the project bag. Excuse me. They both have a YouTube channel. I linked to their shop down below. I forgot to link their YouTube channel, but you can find them easily at Gamer Crafting. So I'm very excited to open this box and see what's inside. So yeah, it's spoilers. So if you ordered a into the Frozen Woods, I keep forgetting the name, just Frozen Woods box. I'm totally gonna spoil this right now. So there's a note that says, "Dear Magical Forest Elves, in this Frozen Woods box, you have 2 skeins of yarn in your chosen base," which I chose the BFL DK again because I really enjoyed it. And it's a unique base that I don't see offered very often and from indie dyed companies. You get 1 merino nylon 4-ply sock mini skein, a custom notebook, a sticker sheet, a stitch marker, a bookmark, a greeting card, and a custom pencil. All of the art was done by Sarah, who is at A Nebulous Purpose. You can follow her on Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter at Nebulous Purpose. You can follow Gamer Crafting on all major platforms now, including TikTok. And you can share what you make with them. Season's greetings, Angie and Sarah. So I think I already mentioned this was not sent to me. I purchased this because I loved my trick-or-treating box so much. Lacey says, BFL! Yeah, BFL's so good. And Maud, I just noticed you have your own stocking. Yeah, we went back and found it. Last year, David bought me that stocking. It's the Mandalorian, right? Because they call him Mando. And that's what my nickname is shortened, Mandobug. My brothers mostly call me Mando. So when Mandalorian came out, it was perfect. All right, so here is the custom pencil. And this might outfocus me again, so we'll work with it. It says, oh, come on. It says Yarn Yeti. How cool is that? Also, while we're focused up nice and close, I've got holiday nails on. More holiday nails from Lily and Fox. $2.99 a set. You can't argue with that deal. Ooh, this is pretty. So this is the bookmark. How cute. Like a frozen winter wolf. I can already tell you right now, I'm going to send this through my laminator, and I'm going to give this to my daughter. She has been reading up a storm. She just read a complete chapter book in a day yesterday, The Magic Tree House. And she was saying how she needed a good bookmark. Oh, how cute is that? Cozy, comfy sole, hedgehog with some cocoa and snowflakes and holly. So this must be is this the sticker sheet? These are the stickers. What? These are so cute. So these are like a paper sticker, like a traditional sticker. Oh my goodness, how cute. Yeah, they're all stickers. And then, oh my goodness. So I just love Sarah's art. Like, that's really what sells it all for me. Here is the custom notebook. Frozen Woods. Oh, it's nice and thick. And it looks like a wide ruled one-sided notebook, but this is great for designing because I can sketch my design on the blank page and write on the oh my gosh, yes. I'm so glad I got this. Worth every extra dollar I paid for the shipping from the UK for sure. Oh, I love that so much. Let's see. They have the coolest boxes. Yeah, you don't want to miss out on this. Also, I'm subscribed to their channel. Angie has been doing Vlogmas, and she mentioned in one of her Vlogmases that she's actually letting go of other work and working on gamer crafting full time, which is even more exciting. The wolf is awesome, isn't it? It's like what a range of art to be able to do super happy, cute, and then also creepy, scary. Because I love both, personally. The wolf looks like the crystal critters in Return of the Jedi. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to order from them next year. And the notebook is gorgeous, isn't it? It's really nice quality, too. Like, very thick and durable. I'm definitely going to start using this as my design notebook. There is the same print for the greeting card. This is a great size greeting card, by the way. It's very nice and thick cardstock. I love the way the moon glows and all of the growth off the antlers, and I love it. This is my kind of holiday. This is such beautiful artwork, isn't it? That's why once I got the winter, the trick-or-treat box, I was like, yes, give me the winter box. All right, and so the greeting card came with an envelope as well. And this must be the yarn. Ooh. Nice variegated greens. Look at that. Frozen woods. So you've got all of the shades of green in the woods and then the snow. Oh, I love it. So this BFL base that I get from them is, and the colorway is called Woodland Magic. So this is 100 grams of DK, 100% blue-faced Leicester wool, and there's 226 meters. And yards, I believe, are 10% more than meters. So just add a little bit more, and that's how many yards there are. Oh, it looks like the spammers are back. I'm on it. I agree, Marquita. It's a tree. It is. It's a frozen tree. I love it. Green is always a great color for this house. I've got a green hat that David wears all the time. He loves it. My son loves green. I'm even a fan of green. So, Maud, I would frame that card, right? I mean, it's a beautiful artwork just on its own. Like, I would be afraid to even write in it because it's just so beautiful. Lori says you need to frame that. Don't you just love those crystal critters? They're so cute. Yes, they are adorable. Oh, my color. Yeah, Lori. Lori is a green lover too. I love how this green also, some of the greens in here kind of have a blue undertone to them too. Let's open one up, by the way. Why didn't I think of that sooner? Let's do this one that has a little bit more white in it. Oh my goodness, the greens though. Okay, perfect. 2 Hanks, one for me and one for my secret green friend Jack. So yeah, my son's secret favorite color is green. Although I will say he's been gravitating to red a lot more lately because he's everything Spider-Man. So red goes very well. Maybe not Marquita. Trees are my spirit guides. Oh, well, then this box is like right up your alley because it's all green and winter woods. So here is the hank all opened up. Oh, this is really nice. Okay, so what I'm noticing right off the bat is that it looks like, let me see. It looks like you can split it. Where's this? Again, because my camera's backwards, I'm still getting used to that. It looks like a lot, and at least this hank, I don't know about the other one, a lot of that blue green is kind of in one chunky spot there with the lighter green on the other side, which is going to make for some fun kind of pooling, semi-striping look. But at the same time, then you can notice there are some speckles in there. And if you flip it over, they're not on the other side of the hank. So I really love to see variation like this because just when you think you know what the yarn's going to do, it changes it up on you. So I think this is going to be really fun to work up and create a really nice, unique color. I think this is a colorway that would be fun to work completely on its own, but I also think it would be fun to work with a solid. You could go the lighter route with like a light green or an almost white, or the darker route with something like a dark gray, dark green, or a black. I'm going to have to dream up what to do with this yarn. Last time when I used the other box, I only used like a little over half of one of the skeins. I still have an entire another skein. So 2 DK weight hanks of yarn is enough to make a decent sized project, more than just a cowl. You could at least do a hat and a cowl set out of it. So I don't know what I'm going to make with it yet, but I absolutely love it. And there's one more goodie inside the box. The mini. So this mini is a merino nylon 4-ply sock mini set, and it's also green. I love this one so much. It's nice and bright. It's got some dark spots and some dark speckles. Whoa, and there's the stitch marker hiding in it. The stitch marker says Yarn Yeti. How cute. Yarn Yeti. Oh, I love it so much. Yeah, I definitely think this box is worth everything I paid for it. And so yeah, there is the fingering weight mini that I will put in my mini skein stash and probably eventually design a scrappy project with it because I slowly collect these minis over time. Let's see. Shh, don't tell anyone he wants you to think he's gravitating towards red. Maybe that is it to help keep it a secret. Oh, I meant it autocorrect me spelling your name. Oh, yeah. Autocorrections does not like unique spellings. I love the color green. Isn't it pretty? It is okay, Marquita. I love the plot twist yarn, right? That's exactly what it is. It's a plot twist. That will work great with crochet. It will work great with both knitting and crocheting. Sometimes hand-dyed yarns can look a little bit color blocky when you crochet with them. This one, I think, has enough plot twisting in it that it's going to be wonderful. I can't wait to work it up. All right, I know we're hitting an hour and I still have a few more things to talk about. I wanted to mention, check it out, I've got 2 more things. I wanted to mention that next week, because I guess it's Saturday, this coming Thursday, I'm going to be going live with Mocha on her channel. So if you don't already follow Mocha, definitely head on over to her channel and subscribe. We're going to be going live on Thursday. Let me just double check. I want to say it's the 16th, December 16th. Yep, Thursday, December 16th. And I'm sure she's going to mention this in her live next Wednesday too. She hasn't announced what we're going to be chatting about yet, but I can tell you, I think it's going to be a lot of fun and it might spark a little bit of debate. So if you can make it Thursday, December 16th at 12 p.m. Pacific time or 3 p.m. Eastern time, I think it's going to be a good time. So I have Mocha's channel linked in the description box below if you aren't already subscribed to her channel. It's going to be fun for sure. Mocha, I can't wait. Me either. I've got some stuff that I've prepped. Mocha's prepped stuff, I've prepped stuff, and we haven't told each other what it is. So I think it's going to be great. The other thing I wanted to share was something I mentioned a couple episodes back when I was talking about my twister top. I didn't put any work into my twister top this week. That is the linked double crochet top that I'm using the Hobie Halloween Twister. And I mentioned how I found out about link double crochet. I found it. I found the book. I recently reorganized a lot of stuff in my bedroom, and I've got kind of like my crochet bookshelf of my favorite crochet books and knitting books, my Vogue knitting books on there. And this is it. This is the Crocheters Skill Building Workshop. This is the book that I used my brother's Ben Franklin gift card that he gave me to buy. And I marked a page inside where it goes into detail about the linked stitches. Linked stitches, linked double crochet, linked treble crochet, which I've never even tried. This book is amazing for intermediate crocheters. Like, a lot of the beginning of the book is kind of basic. And I'm out of focus again. Camera. Please. So maybe. There we go. The beginning was mostly basic stuff that you already know, but then it has a ton of unusual stitches inside, which is how I came across the link double crochet. It also starts to talk about shaping your crochet, which I know there's another book out there just specifically on that called Crochet Every Which Way or something like that. This one isn't just about shaping crochet. It's about like just leveling up your crochet knowledge, and that's not only to include crochet stitches, but all the background information. There is really good detailed information in here about how to choose yarn, how to substitute yarn, how yarn is constructed, why you would want to use a certain yarn for a certain pattern or stitch pattern. All of that's in here. So it's not just the crochet, but it also breaks down materials. I feel like this is a great place to start developing your designing skills. That's what I did. This was the very first designing book that I started with. Thankfully, there have been more and more publications that have been more and more helpful. And I learned eventually, I want to say like 2013, I learned to knit. And that's really been the most helpful thing for me as a crochet designer, which is super ironic. Knowing how to knit and using knitting resources to design crochet patterns, that's made all of the difference. But I did want to share this book because I mentioned how that's how I learned link double crochet and started kind of being interested in that. And they go over all sorts of stuff: cables, posts, shells, practical lessons for inspired stitchers. At a minimum, it's very inspirational. And I didn't mention this book is by Dora Orenstein. So there you go. Essential techniques for becoming a more versatile, adventurous crocheter. I feel like that is exactly what this book has. There are a bunch of patterns in here too that you can use to use the techniques that are taught inside, but I didn't really find any of them of interest for me personally. But all of the choosing yarns, the crochet toolbox, controlling tension. Oh, there's a really good section on controlling tension and like rows and the golden loop and all that. It's really broken down inside here. Fundamental techniques, shaping and construction in crochet, super helpful for designing. Crochet in the round, advanced shaping. Oh yeah, there's a really good section in here about using extended stitches to really smooth your shaping. So like extended single crochets and extended half double crochets. I really enjoyed reading that section. Texture, crochet and color, finishing techniques, and then at the end are the projects. So overall, love this book. Nice, bright pictures. Everything's broken down and written very clearly, and full of things I didn't know at the time when I picked up this book, and I had been crocheting for years. So I did want to share that. Let's see. That we're talking about the live. It's going to be a blast. I'll announce it on my live Wednesday. I figured as much. Oh, I love Scandal. That sounds so fun. This is all Mocha's idea, and I think she came up with a great idea. I think it's going to be fun. Looking for add the two of you in the live together. Yeah, last time we were live together, we had fun, so I already know. I threw some yarn in your window, Miss Mocha. Oh, thank you. Sorry, crochet and typing not working well together. I got you. Hi, BJ. Thanks for showing up, catching the end of the live here today. Lacey, any more thoughts on our challenge? Oh, yeah, this is a total side note. So I try the best that I can to show up for Mocha's lives on Wednesdays. She is live every Wednesday at, well, I know it's 4 p.m. Pacific, so 7 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct. Mocha, you can shout out if that's wrong. I have to set an alarm on my phone because it's after the bus stop and I forget to show up if I don't do that. But we came up with a challenge where we all want to design something based on a general theme, but we don't have the general theme yet. We need a neutral party to come up with a general theme. We've left it open to potentially using any yarn we want, or maybe all using the same yarn or same yarn weight. Super loose, but I'm down. I'm always down for a challenge. And we're saying hi. I think that was everything I wanted to say for check it out. So now we can move on to let's chat. I don't want to chat too long because my older two kids usually go to their dads on the weekends, but they're home with me this week. So they are hanging out, playing quietly, waiting to spend time with mom. So I don't want to stay on too long. Throwing yarn means joining a channel. I've never heard that before. But yay! Yeah, I think you'll love joining Mocha's channel. She's doing Vlogmas right now. And so she's got lots of extra videos that are being uploaded, tutorials and reviews, and she goes live every Wednesday. So I had to rescue a puppy. What did I miss? Oh, so yeah, she's also got a litter of brand new puppies at her house. We were just chatting about the challenge. If we've come up with any more ideas to solidify our challenge that we're going to be designing together. I knew what it meant. Well, I'm glad you knew what it meant. I had no idea what it meant. I had never heard that before. All right, so moving on to Let's Chat. I did link down below this morning on Instagram. I saw Gay Glaspie, Gigi made it on Instagram, I believe, shared a link to an article that I think some of you might find useful. So it's an article from the Daily Beast, and it's about what was going on with racism in the knitting community. If you're interested, if you've heard about it and you have no idea what's going on, I felt like this article was a great recap of everything that's been going on. They even mentioned things that had happened back in 2019 to kind of get you up to speed if you weren't, if you've kind of heard about what's going on, but you don't really know what's going on. When she shared that article this morning, I went ahead and read it and, well, read most of it. I got like 3/4 of the way through before I had to start getting ready for my live. And so I still have to finish the last of it. But what I had gotten through was, I felt like a very good recap that was based on facts of the situations. So I linked that below if it's something you're interested in reading about or learning more about. Yeah. Kim says, Christy Glass again. Yeah, it's basically a recap of what happened with Christy Glass and why this is important, and historical issues of, for lack of a better word, ugliness in the knitting community. I say specifically the knitting community because this most recent event was around the Vogue knitting magazine. So it really is more the knitting community than the fiber arts community as a whole, although there is this overarching theme of discussion in the fiber arts community of, people being allowed to share their experiences and speak up against some of the ugliness that's going on in the community. To say that racism isn't still alive is pretty ignorant. It's out there. I've seen it. It's unfortunate. And I think it's important to be a part of the conversation. I don't have any personal experiences to share, but I do enjoy sharing information when it comes across my table. So that's what I'm doing with this article. Yeah, and that's really all I wanted to say about that. Catherine, we need to stand in the gap. Thank you for doing that, Amanda. Yeah, I know that I can do better, but I'm trying to take baby steps. Take baby steps, and that's the most important thing that I can do is even just stating that if you're someone who is not tolerant, you don't belong in my space is really enough for a starting point. I went to a live that was discussing it and I had to leave after 5 minutes. The tone deafness of chat was maddening. That is so unfortunate. But also at the same time having the conversations as a starting point. So it's gonna be a long, tough, and hard road, but I do think it's important, and hopefully everything grows for the better. I do think that I see things growing for the better and things changing for the better, and so I hope that continues and it stays that way. Um, you're doing good, Mando. Thank you, Mocha. Um, I know, like, for me, like, there's not only just racism in the knitting community and fiber arts community as well. There is just a general ugliness, and this is what happens when a community gets too large anyways. It attracts ugly people. Um, I know that I personally have experienced times where I have been judged in an unfair way based on my appearance, which is exactly what's happening with racism. But for me, being a white female, that judgment and that hurt is like a fraction of the level of what's going on in the BIPOC community. So that is like another reason that I really want to be as forthcoming with it as I can. For me, my experience was ageism, surprisingly enough. Maybe I'll have to share that story another time because we're getting near the end of my life and I don't want to go on for too long. But yeah, I have had some offensive experiences in the fiber arts community based on my age. More than once. Based on my outer appearance that I cannot control, I was treated extremely rudely. So maybe we'll save that for another time. Let's see. Mod. Highly recommend How to Be Anti-Racist if someone wants further general reading. That is something that I should add to my list because, like I said, I am at like the baby steps of doing the work and being an ally. That would be my next level. All right, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much. Sorry, trying to. Oh, did I? I hope I didn't block you, Mod. I tried to block this user. I will be live streaming with Mocha on Thursday, and then I'll be live streaming again next Saturday. But then on Christmas, I will not be live streaming. So I will remind you again next Saturday. But I did want to mention that. And so, yeah, thank you guys for joining me on my live today. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And until next time, guys, happy crafting. Bye.